Okay, well, welcome everyone. And if you are watching the replay or the live, just put hashtag replay or hashtag live so we know where you're coming from. Oh my goodness, Amanda. Oh, so if you are just joining us now, we have asked for you to share where you're tuning in from and what your temperature is. And Amanda Zirk so far is winning with, I think it's minus 40.
Oh my God, I can't even comprehend
Minus
that.
16 tonight. Minus 16. A balmy minus 16. I love it. Okay, so we are here tonight. We're going to do a little bit of a workshop and training on 3 topics: mindset, manifestation, and goal setting. So I want to introduce my co-host, Shirley. And actually, Shirley is the one who inspired this training. We were on a bit of a brainstorming call a couple weeks ago, and everybody has their superpowers in business, and one of Shirley's is manifesting and creating. And we have had the privilege of working together in a previous company, and I'll just kind of give you the backstory on this. So I think it was probably 4 or 5 years ago, we were working towards a trip to the Dominican Republic in a different company. And I was very far off. And I hopped on a call and I heard Shirley sharing. And she said, I just decided it was going to happen. I didn't know how it was going to happen. And she started saying that she started putting sticky notes all over her house that said things like toes in the sand and palm trees so that she was reminded of it everywhere she went. And I think we maybe had like a month to go. And I thought, what the heck? I'm going to take on Shirley's coaching. And so I just did it. And sure enough, I earned the trip. I believe I earned the trip like 2 hours before it ended or something. It was a very close call, but I did it. And so I was just reminded it's a new year. I know we've all kind of been through a lull recently. And for me, in the new year, we want to really kind of start off by what do we want to do, getting our mindset, and then kind of chipping away at the goals and planning, which is kind of fun. And we were talking a little bit today about how really mindset for me is about 80% and then 20% actions, or 80% mindset planning and then 20% is execution of it all. And it is pretty incredible to see what people can create. I have a girlfriend of mine who we're in a bunch of personal development work together. She was unexpectedly put on leave from work, I think last Friday. Huge shock. She just went through a divorce, like terrible timing. And she decided this was going to be her month of miracles. She just said, it's going to be my month of miracles. I am going to make this just amazing month in despite of the circumstances. And she has had these miracles popping up every day because that's what she's creating and that's what she's looking for. And that's the action she's taking. So we're going to start with mindset because, you want to make sure that you're feeding your mind, that you're exercising your mind. I know I called Jen Dowd a couple months ago and I was like, Jen, I need some magic. And she said, the first thing she said to me was, what are you doing to feed your mind? And I thought, oh, okay. So I took a book on that she recommended. Shirley, I'm going to pass it over to you because I know you have some tips and tricks around mindset as well. And if you are someone who has something to say, put up your digital hand or throw it in the comments because we are an amazing community full of people who have amazing ideas. Pass it over to you, Shirley.
Hey, thank you, Benny. Thanks for that lovely introduction. You never know how your words are going to impact somebody else. You never have any idea. Like Benny said, her and I worked together in a previous company for a few years. We earned a few trips. We went to a few conferences. And it was funny. One day, Nicole had asked me, If you could have somebody join your team that we used to work with, did who would who jumps out to you? And Benny was one of the first people that I said, and Nicole said, she's such a foodie, she'd never leave. And it's so weird. A few months later, we both ended up coming here together. Like it's crazy. So yeah, I always believed in when you put things out into the universe, how your mind can make things work for you when you let it. Um, when you hear somebody talking about manifesting, what do you think of? Anybody? You can unmute yourself and feel free to share. What does that mean to you when you hear somebody say that?
Or throw it in the
Yeah. Anybody?
I would say thinking it into existence.
Yeah. That's definitely a good start, a good part of it. So manifesting, it's when your thoughts inspire you to take actions to get the things you want. So think about that for a sec. That's basically what we've been saying. You're letting your mind inspire you. You're taking your inner energy. Um, so it is preparing your mind, your body, and your spirit to help you take the actions needed so that you can get those things. So you are training your mind to remove all those detox things that you don't want in your mind, your self-doubt, your resistance, feeling of overwhelmed, confusion, being cautious, scared, fearful. Anything else? Am I missing something that pops to mind just like that all of a sudden? Um, but it's crazy how your mind, you're your worst enemy for sabotaging your mind because you think all the things that are negative. And it's funny, earlier today I screenshotted something. I'll read it to you when we're almost done. So you are retraining your mind, your nervous system, and your spirit. So that way you can focus on all the things. I was just trying to look to see who all was on here. Most of you don't know this story, so I'll give you the summed up version. A few years ago, I was diagnosed with colon cancer. I had to have surgery, chemo, and all the things. Now, who in the hell in their right mind? Oh, we're streaming live. I forgot. Sorry. Who in their right mind says that they are so fortunate when they've been diagnosed with cancer and have to have surgery? First of all, I had no symptoms. So the way it was discovered was pure miracle. It happened at the beginning of COVID when everything was in lockdown and shut down. My surgery was one of the few that did not get canceled. Brad had to drop me off at the doors, like you see in a movie, like, see ya, like, am I coming back home or what? Like, it was the most fearful thing ever. And then I had to have chemo afterwards. But I tell you, it did not get me down. I did not. I just kept moving forward. And I had a friend reach out to me months later that she worked with us at our previous company as well. And she had a lot of health issues going on. And she said, my God, Shirley, she said, I watched you go through all the things you did. And if you can do this, anybody can do it. And I had no idea she was listening to me or anything. So, like, that was just so impactful. And I'm always saying, you never know who's watching you. So I just wanted to share that to put things into perspective. And I really, really, truly believe all the things we've been saying. So now that I got that over with.
just have to
So
say that I just sorry, there's a bit of a echo. Thank you for sharing that. That puts a lot of things in perspective, first of all. But also just absolutely truly amazing what people can do with what they're up against. So thank you for bringing that to light.
I had watched a podcast at one time, a lady that had terminal cancer, and there was no surgery, nothing they could do for her. They had given her months, and she willed herself to health. And I'm sure there's a whole different scenario, things that had happened and blah, blah, blah. But that was the overall outcome. And the doctors could not explain what happened to her, like how it happened. So, like, I can't stress enough how powerful your mind is. So, manifesting inspires you to take the action you need. It helps you to see, feel, and act the way that you need to get towards those things. You always hear Tina Joy or some of the other diamond leaders saying, if you want to be a diamond, act like you're a diamond already. Don't wait, start doing the things. I wouldn't recommend spending their lifestyle, but you get what I'm saying. Your thought process, you're already a diamond. After one of the conferences that we went to, I think last fall, maybe, Natalie, my daughter, they were talking about being a diamond, acting like a diamond. She went on Amazon and bought these pretty pink diamond shoes, and she's got them in her office. She said, I had to do this, Mom. And like, it's crazy, the things, like your mind, it's all your mindset. You have to think it, believe it, sleep it, all the things. All right. So manifesting is declaring what you want, not just wishing for it. It's setting the actions to get what you want. So when you're saying, oh, I wish I had this, I'm hoping for this, or I wish I won the lotto, that kind of thing, it's putting you in the present and making you feel bad because, okay, if you wish you won the lotto, that means you're struggling financially and you could use extra money. Or I hate my job, or my boss. Okay, I need to find myself a better job. So you want to think past that, not just in the present. Does that make sense? All right. So it's a tool to help you train your mind, also to write it down. Oh, so I've got that written as one of my side notes here. That is truly a thing, right? Not typing it, but actually writing it down with a pen and paper. Your mind is absorbing.
I will
So I
jump
want
in to the write it down part. So for those of you who haven't heard my Ternant story, I wrote down, this was probably 6 months before I came to Ternant. I wrote down an income goal on a wine bottle. And at that time I had zero idea how I was going to do it. I didn't think it was going to happen in our previous company, but I wrote it down and it sat on my shelf. And my very first month at Ternant, my paycheck was within $5 of the amount I wrote down. And when I wrote it down, I hadn't even tried the Glow Collagen yet. But the Glow Collagen, 2 weeks later after I wrote it down on that bottle. And it's something that I do all the time. So we have more wine bottles up there with different goals. And sometimes I do them for personal goals. Sometimes I do them for business. Sometimes I do more than one. But I have to tell you, there's one in my personal life that I just dropped off today. And it seemed like a mountain. It seemed like an absolute mountain to climb. So write it down. I also know people in my previous company, I did this. If you want, I know we don't really do business cards anymore, but this was a few years ago when we still had a lot of in person. They would get the business cards for the next level, right? So things like that where you can put it into existence, get excited. We don't have business cards, but we all have an iPhone. And so what I did for all of our incentive trips is I would make like a collage of where we were going, or, that rank that you want, and put it on your screen, or put your goals or your vision board, take a picture of it, or if it's virtual, put it on your screen. Because how many times do you look at your phone screen a day, right? So when you think about training your mind, writing it down, putting it in your digital world as well. Sorry, I had to jump in on that one.
Oh, no, I love that. Great ideas, definitely. So we're going to do a little exercise. So you guys just run with me for a minute. I want you guys all to close your eyes for a couple minutes. And I want you to just relax and go and listen to what I'm telling you. We're going on a trip. We want to go down south to the beaches. Okay. So you're all excited. You just got dropped off at the airport. Keep your eyes closed and let your mind go to the airport. You're so excited. You got through security. Your plane's on time. There's no delays. So you're up at the airport. You're taking selfies, pictures that you're so excited to be getting on the plane. So just keep picturing all that. It's a 4-hour flight. You're sitting in the middle. You're bumping elbows with everybody. Your head's knobbing from back and forth. You got to wake somebody up to get up to use the bathroom. So just kind of feel your body being on the plane, experience all those things. Your plane lands, you get through customs, you can feel the heat in the airport. You get to your hotel. Your rooms aren't ready, so you leave your luggage with the security room. And then you take off for the beach so that way you can just walk along the sand in the water. You can feel the sand between your toes, the water on your legs. So just keep feeling that warm heat and how warm it is and how bad you really wanted to get there. Okay, guys. You can almost hear the waves. All right, you can open your eyes now. So when you imagine things in full detail, and we could have went deeper, but I don't want to keep you guys here all night. Your brain can't distinguish between real life experiences and ones that you have imagined when you go into great detail like that. Like that's powerful. Sports coaches hire sport people to do this with their teams before playoffs and major games to get them in the right mindset. They're feeling the trophies, all the excitement, the champagne popping, and all the things. When I heard that, I go, wow, like this is powerful. Like, any thoughts? Like, it just blows my mind away when you start talking about it and reading and hearing all the things.
The other thing is really easy to do while you're throughout your day. I know we all listen to calls while we're making dinner or things like that. But if you commute to work, get some great audiobooks or podcasts or while you're doing the dishes or folding laundry so that you are constantly having that talk. I had a coach in business probably about 5 years ago. It was the first time I ever really invested in a coach. And the first thing that she did was she asked me to write down 100 like dreams that I wanted. And I thought that's going to be so easy. I got to 10 and I couldn't think of any more. Like our brains are just sort of wired. And she was like, everything that you could possibly imagine, put it down. And lo and behold, after I started that list, those things started like popping up. So we often, for example, after I heard about Ternant and the Jeeps, Trent and I played this game. We were like, oh my gosh, I just counted 20 Jeeps on the way to your house. And you start seeing them in the parking lots. Like I never noticed Jeeps before I started seeing people driving Jeeps. So when you say red car, for example, you start to see the red cars. They start popping up. I know I'm just going to take a minute for everyone here. Throw in the chat, what is your favorite book and your favorite podcast for you to sort of build that mind muscle? I know today we talked about Mel Robbins. A new one for me is Chop Wood, Carry Water. Another one that I reread all the time is Atomic Habits. It's all about the 1% shift. Let's get them going in the comments. Shirley, what are a few of yours?
5-second rule, 5, 3, 2, 1. Don't even think about it. Just do it. And it just blends so well with what we're talking about tonight.
Gary V says Jill, Mel Robbins, 5-second rule, the slight edge, chop wood, carry water. Yes, I love it. The Alchemist.
I'm marking that one down. Chop wood, carry water.
It was a new one to me. I'm a junkie. So many. I love it. I love it. And that's the thing. We are all in this community. So when we, have,
Right.
when
Hi,
we
Trev.
have
Hello.
a community with us, it's great to pull on all those things because we all hear about it from someone else. The life
Yep.
coach school, that's another great one. Okay, I love it. Okay, back to you, Shirley.
Do you know what would be really good? We should make a post so that everybody can see it, to list all your favorite books like this. So that way it'll be like a screenshot. People can get, like, other people that are in the group can see what kind of books, all the other books
Absolutely.
others have watched, for sure. So just imagine, like, when we're talking about how powerful your mind is. I know there's a few people on here that I can see that are really aiming to hit Ruby in the near future. So just think of how hard you've worked your butt off, or you're going to be working your butt off, and how excited you're going to be that night when you hit Ruby. And Charlotte, myself, Nicole, Benny, one of us are going to be reaching out to you, or probably all of us, to congratulate you. You're going to be so excited. And just think of all the Facebook posts and the messages you're going to get from everybody, like, congratulating you. So, like, just keep thinking about things like this as if it's happening, like happening. All right. So you believe it and it will happen. Train and prepare yourself for it. That's basically what we've been saying here all along. So when you believe it's possible, you will do it. Shift your energy. You're bringing all your power from within. So stop telling yourself that it won't happen and start doing the work to make it happen. And a few side notes, there are a lot of podcasts on manifesting, and Mel Robbins is one of them. It's one of the ones I listened to this morning, and just wow. And she just has podcast after podcast. So I really encourage you guys to look them up on YouTube, mark things down. And there's Build the Life You Want by, yes, definitely. So that's a good one. Vision boards, like, you see a lot of people talking about vision boards. It's the same thing. If you've got it somewhere where you are going to be looking at it every day, there's one podcast I was looking at. It said, write whatever your goal is down 3 times in the morning, 6 times at noon, and 9 times at night. So that way it's on your mind first thing when you wake up in the morning, and you know exactly what you're going to do to get there. Right.
So I'm just going to show you guys. I have a couple vision boards. I do one almost every year. I have a bunch of different ones. I always do them a little bit different. Sorry, I think my screen is blurred, so I'll unblur my screen. I know you can do them through Canva now. However, I'm old school. And so here's one here. I have like 3 different categories. Here's one here. And this one I want to tell you about. So this was 3 years ago, I believe. And I don't know if I live on the West Coast. Right here in the middle are some orca whales. And for those of you who think that on the island we see them when they're driving to work in the morning, it's very rare. Like sometimes on the ferry, like very, very, very rare. And this particular year, I saw about 46 in the wild. I saw 25 in 2 days when I was camping. Mind you, I also went to a camping spot where it happens to be a very good spot for whales, but I went one year and I saw 0. So, I just remember looking back at this, I think it was 2 years later, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was the year that I saw like 46 whales. So, just some ideas if you have not done a vision board yet. We might do a little workshop. So if you're somebody who wants to do like a group vision board workshop where we just are like cutting things out, or you're pulling things off Canva and we get to do it as a fun little group, throw vision board in the comments and we'll come up with a couple dates for that. Back to
I
you.
love that idea. Putting sticky notes, having your vision boards, right out where you're going to see them every day. It's just so powerful, and it's just part of the tools that you want to start training your mind to be doing the things that it needs to do to get you where you need to be. So that's basically all I had to say on the manifesting portion. I love the vision board.
All right, we have some people commenting vision board. I think it would be so fun to do in a group. I did one at my house last year. She's not on here, but Leslie H on my team, she was doing vision boards with myself and a couple other team members. And at that point in time, I can't remember what she was at yet. I think she was just an associate, and she put a Jeep on her vision board, and she's a single mom, and she said, I'm gonna be driving a Jeep by June. And this was in January, and she was driving her Jeep, this beautiful cherry red Jeep, within, I want to say, 6 weeks. And she was like, I had no idea it was going to happen that fast. Yeah,
That just melts my heart. Love it.
I love it too. All right. Where are we next, Shirley?
I screenshotted something today that actually just before our call, I wanted to read. And it's something that was a quote by Bruce Lee. Don't speak negatively about yourself, even as a joke. Your body doesn't know the difference. That's just what I said when we were talking about closing your eyes. Your mind doesn't know the difference when you're really imagining in full detail things. So words are energy that cast spells. That is why they're called spelling. Change the way you speak about yourself, and you can change your life. How powerful is that? I had a conversation earlier with Natalie, and I had said something like kind of negative to about myself to her, and basically, I wish I'd have seen that before I had spoke to her, because that's exactly basically what she had said to me. So kind of cool.
Words are so powerful. Absolutely. And then once you sort of, are inspired, anybody just put up your hand, digital or human hand, if you've been inspired a little bit so far. So Shirley and I were talking earlier today, and we were both saying we need this as much as everybody else right now. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about community. So can you imagine if we have this entire community of people manifesting, creating goals, what kind of energy that will bring to our teams, to our business? Jill did an amazing training on social media, and she was talking about, throwing in chat GBT, did I say it even right, Jill? Like top 10 motivational quotes, and starting to put those on your social media, so people start to recognize you as somebody who is out to create, out to be positive in the world. And then the second part of that is you want to carve out time to plan. So it is one thing to manifest, and it is another thing to sit down. Trent is actually here, and we are sitting down and setting some time aside to plan our business. When are we working our business? What does it look like? When are our calls going to be? What do we want that to look like? So you want to make sure you carve out that time to actually put in the time to have those actions, because that is really important. We have the kind of business where you're your own boss. So it's sometimes easy to not work and then expect certain results. I'm just going to add a few more things that I do. And then I want to also end with one little kind of activity, and then we're going to wrap up pretty quick. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover, Shirley?
No, you're summing it up quite well.
Okay, so a couple things that I love to do. How many people here have a drive every day? Some sort of drive. Put up your hand. I drive most days. So one of the things that I do in the car, and I used to do this in my previous company where I drove a lot, I would visualize abundance. Sometimes it would look like a paycheck. Sometimes it would look like a rank. Sometimes I would just like, almost like if you were, like sunshine coming on you, but I would like visualize abundance. And one time I drove 2 hours and I got to this particular business function. It was a cooking class for those of you who know my previous company. Drove 2 hours, had a babysitter, all the things. 4 people were there. But the entire time I was doing that visualization, and it ended up being the highest sales that I had had in months. And out of 4 people, 3 joined my business that night. And I was like, man, it doesn't cost a thing, but it sure is awesome. The other one I love to do, you can do this in the shower, you can do this before bed or in the morning, is I lie in bed and take 5 minutes to visualize abundance raindrops. I know it might sound crazy, like coming down on me. So if I'm having a lull in business, I will start to do that. And then I always notice things start to move again. So these are all just little tips that you can get along the way from all different podcasts or coaches or other people in business that you have maybe come across. Okay, so we're going to end. I'm going to take myself off blur screen here. And we're going to do a little activity. So this is once again on that mindset. So I'm going to get you to put out your hands if you're sitting or you're standing. Okay, everybody's arms are out. And you're going to move your arms like this. I'm going to show you. Like, so your torso is stiff and you're just moving your arms like this. But you're going to look over your finger and pick a point. So you don't move your torso. You got it? And then kind of squint and pick a place on the wall, or maybe if there's like, wallpaper or something. Does everybody have a spot? Okay, now come back. Sitting in the same spot, I want you to lengthen your spine. And do you guys all remember those like stretch guys that you can get as a kid? And they're like elastic bands and you like pull them and stretch them. Maverick always does it until they break apart. So you're going to pretend you're one of those stretch guys and you're going to visualize stretching your spine long, close your eyes. Your spine is going all the way to the ceiling. And you're going to like picture that your body is like jello, loose. You're mobile, wiggle those shoulders a little bit. Now open your eyes again, put out your arms and twist one more time and see if you can go a little bit further. Anybody go further?
Yes.
Yeah. So sometimes when I do this, I can go like a foot further only because I took that little bit of time. So, before your overviews or maybe a business call, jump on with your leader and have that call so that you can be in that mindset. Or if you're doing an overview, listen to a song that pumps you up so you can get your energy going. And I just kind of wanted to end on that note. I'm going to just leave a few minutes here. If anybody wants to come off mute and share one thing that you heard tonight that you're going to take on, or throw it in the comments, or if you have a nugget that you want to share with us. So one of two things, your takeaway that you're going to take on in your business and your life, or a nugget you want to share with us, because we want to hear it if you have one. Change
Change
goals.
goals to
I'll
missions.
say, for myself, I've been on a mission to be healthier. And for me, to the gym is what works. I'm not a walker. I'm not all those things. I want to put on big headphones and go to the gym. And I find that I mix it up, but like I have like an empowerment playlist on those days that I just need like girl power. And some days I listen to a podcast. Some days it's Gary Vee being positive. Sometimes it's something random. Like there's so many, like I'm a Spotify junkie as well, right? And you just click on like motivational speeches on those low days. And I swear within 10 minutes, you're running faster than you've ever run on the elliptical. And you're pumped. You're like, I could do more. And it's like, it changes your whole headspace. Like the reason I love Gary Vee is he always says to people that like have negativity and like I've suffered with depression, put the positivity back in your ears because life can get noisy. And sometimes you live with noisy people and you put your headphones on and put yourself back in a space to know that, you're fine with it. That was it.
I love it. I love it. Janine, do you have any nuggets, or Susan or Nicole? All right. Okay, we are going to end tonight. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you, Shirley, for inspiring me. And I am excited to take on my vision board. So we'll throw up some times if you guys want a vision board together, or if you just want to share with us your vision board, we would love to see it. Okay, good night, everyone.
That idea. Thank you. Thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, guys.